Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning I have two guests. I have Amie Foster, the Vice President of Flooring, and Max Holland, Executive Vice President with the FEI Group. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing great, Kemp. I hope you are.
I'm good. I wanted to talk to you about your 25th anniversary annual meeting that you had out in San Antonio. We'll get to that in just a minute. Most people know the FEI Group is a group of independent contractors focused in many areas. You started in flooring and actually were called Floor Expo a long time ago, but you've diversified and you now cover cabinets and plumbing fixtures and roofing, and you've added a group of traffic safety contractors. About a year and a half ago, you merged with Nationwide Marketing Group, so this is the second meeting after that. Let's first catch up on the two flooring sectors that you focus on, single-family builder and multifamily. What's the current flooring demand trend in those two sectors?
Yeah, Kemp, our two legacy divisions are our Home Solutions division focused on new home construction, and then our Multifamily Solutions division focused on the multifamily new construction and unit turns. The market update at conference, we actually had Misha Fisher. The big takeaway was that we have moved from the most affordable housing historically to the most unaffordable in just about a 2-year period. Part of that is directly linked to mortgage interest rates. You know, you're going from a 30-year fixed rate, which was 2 years ago 3%, which is now finished in October at 7.8%. That said, you know, the housing market is still competitive and there's still demand, and that demand is outpacing supply. So buyers that are in the market and have a stomach for this market with those kind of rates are gobbling up anything that's for sale, especially new home construction. New home construction still remains pretty strong, all things considered. The fall market has been a little bit of a bear, and that's mostly due to those interest rates that I mentioned. That trajectory just continues to move upwards. You've got elevated home prices, as everybody's aware of as well, and the tight inventory, which is that trifecta is really of headwinds is really complicating the housing market right now. The Feds did just push pause on raising rates. That was a good sign, and they can't build fast enough for the demand that's out there. Although the builder sentiment is definitely trending lower, and it moved from 44 to 40 September to October. Definitely have some headwinds in front of us in the housing market. We are gaining share. The Home Solutions division and our new construction contractors are absolutely the best of the best in the market, and they're winning today by winning share in the market where they can get it.
Mm-hmm. The housing starts are up about 7% from last month, so that's going to indicate the end of the year is going to be a big push, so that's good for our Home Solutions members. The FEI Group segment in the flooring market is producing better results than the overall builder multifamily market with the industry, so that's always two positives to take away to our members. In our multifamily channel, demand is outpacing supply. It's never been more expensive to buy a house. So we see a lot of consumers who are moving to that renting segment. Interesting enough, we had an article come out this weekend about through National Multifamily Housing Council that said almost 1 in 5 renters is a renter by choice. So even as we see this high-price housing segment, we have a base of consumers who want to be renters and say that they're never interested in buying a home. That was like more than 17% of the apartment residents in 2023 said that they simply have no interest in purchasing a home ever. So what we see in the housing segment pushing consumers to rent, there's always going to be that demand on the multifamily side of the renter who wants to stay in the renting environment. So that's a positive for our multifamily group as well.
All right. So let's move to the meeting. It's your 25th anniversary meeting. Most people know this organization was started and run by Dave Giesling, and you guys have transitioned to new leadership since his passing. Tell us a little bit about the highlights of the meeting.
Yeah, Kemp, we had a great 25-year celebration. We really looked back on our 25 years, the founding from Dave Giesling and Andy Hogan and Jay Smith, and of course Graham Howerton, who's still with us, and Randy McNatt. And we had a foundation award that we awarded to Andy Hogan and recognized Andy for all the great work he did here in the foundation that he set up for us, as well as Randy McNatt, who's still our CFO and has been here from the beginning. So really celebrated those two individuals and looked back on the past. but with a focus on what are the next 25 years going to look like for us. And our real focus around the whole conference was around organizational health, looking at not only how do we get bigger, but how do we get better operationally, financially, all the ways that a business needs to focus on improving internally. If we can get better before bigger, customers will demand that we get bigger. So really focus there. And we did that through our Learning Academy sessions. We had what I would say is the best session of Learning Academy sessions that we've ever had. There were 12 in total. Members could choose from anything from operational improvements to communication planning to vision casting within their organizations. Some really great sessions given by some great leaders. One of the things we always pride ourselves in doing, this came from Dave Giesling, is whenever we have more than 25 people together, which we had over 700, when we get together, we're going to give back to the community we're in. Last year, we were in Marco Island. As you are aware, we packed 50,000 meals for hungry children in Florida that just lived through that hurricane that had come through Florida. This year, we did 56,220 meals, and we did that in less time, and all those meals are going to Hawaii and Maui specifically, where they've had those devastating fires. We also raised a considerable amount of money for the Dave B. Giesling Foundation. That's going to help underprivileged children with some scholarships that have an interest in planetary science and space exploration. So really excited about that. As always, we had a good time.
We had a really good time.
We had a great day of activities, and we finished off with a really big party at Kennedy Ranch.
Let me just ask you, on the economist, the Misha Fisher, what was his outlook for the next year or so?
He was really looking at Congress has got another date ahead of us, November 17th, where they've got to make some decisions on spending and what that's going to look like. And that's going to have a big impact, especially on the housing market for sure. If the government shuts down, that has a big impact.
He talks about materials inflation for the next cycle, taxes likely going up, the different strategies, most likely avoiding the recession.
So he thinks that we're going to avoid a recession as long as the government doesn't shut down?
As long as the government doesn't shut down. But he said it's likely and unavoidable that there will be higher taxes.
Yes.
And those taxes will come in the form of not necessarily a tax hike, but letting any of those tax breaks that we have in place expire as they continue to spend.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the update on the meeting. It's good to catch up with you. Thanks for talking to me and our listeners. Again, been talking to Amie Foster, VP of Flooring, and Max Holland, EVP with the FEI Group, and you've listened to Kemp Harr and FloorNow.net.